Welcome to the Pet Pawcast for pet parents, pet lovers, and it's all about pets. I'm Lauren, a certified professional pet sitter and pet owner. I want to thank everyone for tuning into the show. Welcome back to the Pet Pawcast with me, Lauren Dunkel. Today we are going to talk about dogs and the spookiest day of the year. So we're going to talk about some tips on how to get your dog used to people coming to the door and ringing the doorbell. Definitely safety in regards to candy, chocolate, and then most importantly, getting your pet used to seeing people in costumes and masks. So first, let's talk a little bit about preparing your pet for a holiday. Now, we're going to focus a little bit on Halloween, since we are recording this at the end of October, but this can be applied to all other holidays, celebrations, anytime you might have a lot of people coming to your home, or even just the mailman coming to bring the daily mail. So first, we'll talk a little bit about getting your dog used to when people approach the home and ring the doorbell. So most people, when you ask them, what do you want to change with when people come over to your home? People say, my dog will bark incessantly when the doorbell is rung or people come into my home. Typically, dogs are just very excited. There's someone coming up to the home. They want to protect the home. They want to protect their owners. So getting dogs used to people approaching, you definitely want to start this prior to Halloween or a holiday or whatever celebration that you have coming up, because this is not going to be a one day your dog barks and the next day your dog doesn't. So definitely this is something you want to continue to work with your dog on. So what I suggest is setting up a dog gate, a baby gate at the front door. And practice. Practice makes perfect. Have family members, friends, neighbors come up to your home, ring the doorbell. When your dog starts barking, what you want to do is distract them with a treat, a high value treat. High value does not mean the most expensive treat on the market. High value to your dog, something that they just can't not want. For my dog, it's cheese. So you want to distract them, give them the high value treat or reward. And while they stopped barking because they're eating their treat, you want to give them praise, verbal praise, good boy, good girl, sweet dog, anything to let them know that what they are doing is good. They're not barking. So reinforce their behavior positively with treats. Another great thing to do is create a spot for your dog. Now, I do this with my dog. So when someone comes over, she's just so excited and wants to say hi to people. So she barks and, she doesn't always have the best manners when it comes to people's personal space. So I just tell her, I say, Sassy, go to your spot. And she goes and lays on her pillow in the corner of the living room. And she gets a treat when she arrives there. She did something good. Now, I've trained her that when she does go to her spot, she does need to stay. This has been a long process. She is 12, and I have been working on extended stay with her probably for the last 6 or 7 years. So she does stay and she gets a treat. But this is a great thing to teach your dog. So, the doorbell rings. In a perfect world, they're going to run right to their spot, sit silently, and wait for their reward. So as people are approaching on Halloween, they're probably going to be dressed up in costumes. So there's another thing that we need to deal with when it comes to your pet. So the best way to get your dog used to seeing you in a costume, someone else in a costume, is, again, just practice. The best thing you can do first is just have the costume with you. Do not put it on right away, and let the dog come to you. So I would suggest holding it up on a hanger. The dog can come and sniff it. And when the dog approaches it, they get their high value reward or treat. and lots of verbal praise. So you want them to associate this costume or clothing item or sweater or even a harness with a positive reaction. And, don't be discouraged if you hold up a Halloween costume or anything and your dog takes one look at it and backs away. You know what? Then it's time to end it there today, and you start over the next day until your dog feels comfortable with it. Never go up to your dog. Let them come to you. So once they're comfortable seeing the costume, sniffing the costume, then you can try wearing the costume. So again, you don't want to just put it on and go up to your dog, give them a big hug and say, "Oh, I love you so much." Because then, your dog might think you're crazy a little bit, but also this is not positively reinforcing any kind of behavior. So again, you just walk into the room with your costume on, let the dog come to you. And when they do, they get a treat, their high value treat, they get praise, and you just keep practicing this. Then maybe have your neighbor come over, so someone that they don't see every day, and just more practice, and hopefully you'll have a good experience. Now, we always have to have a plan B, especially when it comes to dogs in unfamiliar situations. So if you're having a large party, it's Halloween, it's Christmas, anytime that your dog might be overwhelmed by the amount of people, amount of noise, the doorbell, set them up their own room. So we have our family room in our basement in our home, and on Halloween, that's right where my dog goes. She gets all of the comforts of the couch. I make sure the TV is on for her. I bump the volume up a little bit so she maybe can't, some of the noises are a little bit drowned out, and that is her safe spot. And I just keep her there until all of the festivities are over. Keeps her nice and calm. And then you don't have to be stressed when you're greeting people at your door or inviting people into your home. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Pet Pawcast. Please subscribe and leave a review wherever you listen. This helps us reach pet parents and pet lovers such as yourself. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at Pet Pawcast. If you have any questions you'd like answered or ideas for topics you'd like to hear about, send us a message through social media or send an email to podcast@petpawcast.com. See you next time.